My name is Laura Van Tyne, and I am with the Karmic Path. My story started about 20 years ago. I used to be a middle school math and Spanish teacher and married 3 kids. And then one day, the paranormal hells literally opened up in our house. And it was stuff that I could never have imagined existed. The Hollywood, style credits never rolled. This nightmare went on for 10 years. I had to quit teaching. I had to figure this out. I had to figure out how can I save my family's soul because we were under assault by things that nobody else could see, but we knew they were there. I would get choked, for example, right here in the to the point where I would almost pass out, but nothing was there. Dishes would fly off the countertop. Nothing was there. And they started going after one of my kids, which as a mom or as any adult with, a young one around, that's just not cool. And along this way, my in-laws had both died. And then 6 months later, my father died. And so within 18 months, we had 3 grandparents pass away, which kind of added to this. And I'll explain that in a little bit here. These paranormal hells opened up, and I am trying everything. The internet wasn't what it is today. I couldn't go around asking for help. I'm a teacher in the community. I'm a volunteer. I'm working as city council members and stuff and school boards. So people know me. I'm a known quantity. And all of a sudden, our family has this horrible secret. And I know as a teacher, if I were to say to somebody, well, my daughter's seeing all these dead people floating around, that would bring Child Protective Services into our home and start questioning us as a parent and maybe putting my kid on these drugs, psychotropic drugs. So we had to keep this secret. It was a hard secret, and it went on for well over a decade. And when this is happening, I want to pause a moment. We all have these moments, these defining moments, right? These moments that are anchor points in our soul. For example, we knew where we were if we were alive then, where we were standing at when 9/11 happened. So these are these anchor points. And I had an anchor point in this situation when one of my kids comes running down the hall, jumps into bed with us, and I'm holding her, and I can feel her little heartbeat racing through my body. That's how intense it was. And those little kid whispers that are super loud. And she goes, Mommy, Mommy, the shadow men are in my room, and they said they're going to steal my soul to break you. 6-year-olds don't talk like that. They were going to steal my soul to break you. And then she asked, what was her soul? And then why did they want to break me? That was probably one of the most terrifying moments of my life. How do I protect my kid, my family, myself from the unseen energetic world? The unseen energetic world impacts us all the time, whether we believe it or not, whether we know it or not. Energy exists. And these dark beings had it in for me. And I didn't know why then, but I know why now. I quit my job. I had to figure this out. And I'm calling psychics and shamans and spiritual practitioners, religious clergy. I'm leaving no stone unturned to figure this out. And I would get so angry at God. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you letting this happen to my family, my kids, everybody? Why? This made no sense. And along the way, back to the parents that died, my dad kept showing up as a ghost. And one day, my husband asked this question. He says, why is it your dad's always here, but where are my parents? And I'm like, I don't know. It was a good question. And a couple days later, maybe a week later, my dad is living with us as a ghost. He's trying to protect us. I don't know what to do with him. I feel like he should be somewhere else, but I don't know. But he's trying to protect us. He's kind of terrified for our situation as well. And then all of a sudden, my in-laws showed up outside on our backyard under our patio with 2 sets of angels. And I'm thinking, that's interesting. They'd been gone for a year. And so I asked them, because I could see them, why are you outside? Why don't you come inside? And the angels responded by, because you didn't invite us in. And I'm thinking, what? It's my in-laws. We love them. They're family. You didn't invite us in. And so I'm like, okay, come on in. And so the 4 angels and my 2 in-laws come in, and they started explaining to me how spiritual law works, how the light side works, how the dark side works. And they were utilizing my in-laws and my father as examples. My in-laws, I learned, they didn't come into our home like my father did because they had crossed over and gone to the higher realms, to heaven, to God's source, whatever your word is for it. My dad did not. My dad didn't cross over because he could see when he died the terrifying things that were going on in my home, and he wanted to stay to protect us. What he didn't fully understand was that he could give us more protection if he was crossed over. But I didn't know what that meant at the time. And so while my in-laws and the angels are here, they start giving me these huge lessons, and I literally had to write it all down because I wouldn't remember it. The first angel message, and my in-laws are there, my dad is there, my husband and kids are there. The first message is love never dies. Love transcends dimensions, meaning that our souls are eternal. When a loved one dies, we need to make sure that they cross over. And at this time, I didn't really know what that meant. So they need to cross over and they need to go home. They do not linger as ghosts. So we have been pre programmed to believe a lot of things about ghost energies. Ghost energies, a ghost is maybe they have unfinished business. Maybe they're not ready to cross over. Maybe they were a bad person. That's all bunk. That is not true. When we leave our physical bodies, the energy that animates these bodies is our soul energy. Our souls need to go home for soul healing, soul restoration, and it does not happen if you linger as a ghost. In fact, bad things can happen to ghosts, and they do all the time. And we'll roll back into that in a moment. So the angels are talking about this and how love transcends dimensions, period. The love that we have for a deceased loved one doesn't go away. It's just different. We have to learn how to live life without them, as hard as that may be. And we may not understand why we have to live life without them. This is especially true if we've had a child who's died, or if we've had maybe a spouse who died young. We don't know. There's a bigger soul universal picture out there. And that's what we have to understand. The other angel message, and this is about 20 years ago, is the world is getting darker every day, and we angels need your service. We need you to request help. We need humanity to request angelic help. Why? Because the angels are an asset for humanity, but God gifted us free will. In our free will, the light side cannot interfere with us unless we ask for their help. How many of us have been pre-programmed to believe that my problem isn't worthy enough for an angel's help? I need to save all my little angel chips to, for the big ask. Maybe God doesn't love me. Maybe I deserve to, suffer like this. So these are false narratives that the dark side has put into us. And it could be through religions. It could be through just thoughts or pre-programmed beliefs through our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, etc. So know this. We have to ask angels for help. It doesn't matter how mundane or how small it is. One of the biggest things we can do, the more we ask for angels to help, the more we connect to God, the more we connect to the divine. It's okay to ask for that killer car parking spot. I need a rock star parking spot, angels. I'm in a hurry. Ask for it. It's amazing what will open up. I remember the time that one of my daughters had a year-long concussion, and she literally had to learn how to read again. It was pretty bad. She had fallen off the top of a cheer pyramid. So she gets her driver's license late, and she finally gets her driver's license a year later than her friends, and she wants to drive herself to the beach to go surfing. And we got her a car, and she was so super excited. So she gets her license on a Wednesday. We get the car on a Thursday. Saturday rolls around. She wants to go. Friday night hits, and I get this premonition that is terrifying to me. It's like she's going to get hit by a drunk driver on her way to go surfing. So me as a mom's like, yeah, you can't drive yourself. I'll take you. And you would have thought World War III would have erupted in our house, right? So I thought I can have everybody mad at me, or I can figure out how to protect her. And so that night I prayed hard. I asked for the angels to be in her car. I asked for the car to be filled with angels inside and out. I asked for the angels to put their arms, their hands on my daughter's steering wheel. I asked for them to be with her from the moment she left the driveway till the moment she returned home. Why am I being this specific? Because when you ask for angels to help you, be specific. They can't guess. Be specific. And so she takes off Saturday morning really early because that's when the surf was. We're 15 minutes away from the ocean in San Diego, and we're about one exit or so from on the freeway to get to the ocean. And we get this call, and she's panicking. Mom, I got hit and hit by a car. I'm okay. And then my husband and I practically teleported over there, right? And we get there. The California Highway Patrol guy says, ma'am, I don't know what happened, but she was hit by a very large truck and her car was small. He goes, by the point of impact of this, she should have either spun her car out or it should have flipped. I don't know how she got here, but she's good. She's safe. And then, we went our separate ways, waited for the tow truck and all that stuff. And after everything settled down, I said, okay, honey, what happened? And she says, Mom, it was the weirdest thing. I saw the car coming behind me. I knew it was going to hit me. And she says, my car literally just floated to the side of the freeway and parallel parked itself. She says, I wasn't driving the car, but I don't know how to explain it. And that, my friends, is the power of angelic help. She was okay. Her car sustained quite a bit of damage, but she was okay. Ask the angels for help. There's no amount of help that's too small or too large. Because angels can't assist us unless we ask for their help. If we do not ask for their help, we are depriving them of the ability to advance in their ranks. We are depriving them of their ability to earn karma by helping us. You don't want to be responsible for that. Start asking for help as much as you want. Like I said, you need to go get some blue jeans and you want to go get some jeans on sale. Ask for the angels to guide you to the sale where the blue jeans are and start to listen to your intuition on that. That is probably one of the most powerful things. And it sounds like a small ask, but the more you have the small asks, the larger you grow your spiritual team, your soul tribe. And the work I do now is all about building a healthy soul. And what does that look like? So back to those angel messages that I was getting with my deceased in-laws and my dad. The other angel message was, death is never permanent, but it's critical that all souls cross over and go home. Humans are not to judge where souls should go upon death. How many times have we said, well, they should rot in hell, right? That's not our job. And these angels taught me how to cross over ghostly souls, because part of our paranormal issue in the house, we were inundated with dead people. There were more dead people than living people on our entire street, our entire block. So they taught me how to cross them over. The easiest way we can do it is to bring in our angels from the higher realms to take so-and-so back home to the heavens, back home to the higher realms, whatever your word is for it. And if you happen to pick up some baggage in the form of like maybe ghosts that you don't know, you're going through a bad part of town and you picked up a couple drug addicts, have your teams, your angel teams, bring them home, take them home, make the request. The other angel message they gave me was, God says, in my house, there are many mansions for a reason. You need to understand that angels are here to help you and protect you. Even the most egregious of souls, for example, maybe a Jeffrey Epstein, they need to be crossed over into the higher realms. Why is that? It sounds counterintuitive. Because when we take somebody like a Jeffrey Epstein and we put him back in the arms of God, he is no longer free to roam the lower astral to harm us. Ghost energy impacts us all the time. Ghost stories exist throughout the history of this planet beyond language and culture. So they impact us all the time. We need to cross them over. Now, here's where it gets tricky. And this was my situation. The dark side was coming in after us. They feed off of ghost energy. This is one of the things the angels were explaining to me. So when the beings fell from the light of God, when the fallen angels, when, all kinds of beings fell from the light of God, they needed an energy source. And in that energy source, they realized, oh, snap, we don't have access to God's light. We need to figure it out. They saw humanity. Hey, we could use them as a step-up transformer to feed ourselves, to utilize their soul energy. And that's what they do. The dark side can reincarnate us over and over too. If the dark side reincarnates us, it doesn't mean that we're a bad person. It means they were soul napped. It's like kidnapping, but in a different dimension. So we really need to make sure all ghost energies cross over, because it robs the dark side of a food supply. That is a big deal. Angels can connect us to the higher realms. They can be a part of our spiritual teams, and they offer a spiritual service. And in this process, it took me almost 20 years to figure out why these dark beings held such a heavy assault on me. And they targeted one of my kids because they could see a potential future that I didn't even know existed. And if they could stop me by using fear, they could stop that potential future of me doing what I do today. What I learned about fear in small doses keeps us safe. Oh, don't turn left. Or, cars pulling out in front of in the light. Fear in large doses is paralyzing. Fear in large doses stops us from moving, and that's what they were trying to do. The horrors I endured, I can't even share them because I don't want to spread that fear, but it was bad. It was really bad. I would wake up with bite marks and bruises and all kinds of things. A broken bone. Literally, they broke my bone. Something that was not in a physical body broke my hand. This is all real, it's true, but they tried to stop me. But what they didn't understand, you mess with my kid, I'm not going to quit. Had they been messing with just me, I don't know if I would have worked that hard. So, this is why I do what I do today. We're not alone in this. I knew then our family wasn't alone in this. I have stopped teaching, and this is the work that I do now because we need to learn how to build and create healthy souls. A healthy soul means that the dark side, the nefarious side, can't gain access to us. How do we create a healthy soul? That's the $1,000,000 question, right? We talk about our health all the time. We talk about our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, financial health, but we don't really talk about our soul health. We need to learn how to heal our soul on many levels. Our souls are eternal. Christ talks about life everlasting, not death everlasting. And that's a big deal. Know that you have the power within you to do this. It doesn't mean that we don't need help. I help people every single day. If it's, how do I maintain my frequency? How do a spiritual consultation? How do I talk to my higher self? How do I work with my guides? I've got these dark entities all over me and in my house. How do I clean and clear them? And when I do work with somebody, I learned it's really important that we work together as a team because I could tell somebody, a client, that, oh, well, your dead grandma says blah, 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 blah. And how do you know I'm making that up? So I have a way that we get to see together what's happening, what's impacting you, what's having blockages. Because when I was searching for help, I had so many people tell me so many different things. Some of it made sense, some of it didn't make sense, but I didn't know if I could trust them or not. How do they know? Nobody's ever 100% perfect. So that's why I do what I do today. I am, in hindsight, I'm very grateful for those experiences because it made me the person I am today with the strength and fortitude and stamina to take down these negative entities, to take down these heavy energies so that we can live a life where we have true free will, not mitigated free will. We live life without the brain fog, all of those elements that brings us down. And I'm very blessed, I'm very honored, and I'm very humbled to be able to do what I do. Thank you for listening to my story. I know that we all have options of what we get to do with our time, and I appreciate you taking the time to hear this story and to learn more about me. The links are below. Thank you.